everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her, an innovative, fun, creative, enlightening podcast where women and men, because Dagmar, how many men listen to us?
25%.
Whoop, whoop, and it's going up. Share their stories and their experiences and give amazing advice on dating and business and family and everything that's
Self-improvement.
just everything. We are an all-encompassed podcast.
Holistically.
Yeah, holistically and authentically. And it's great because we have a lot of different topics and people like a variety. We're like a variety show in a podcast.
We would like to take this moment to thank our sponsors. Bronzea is a mobile spray tanner which can be done in the comfort of your own home. Founded by Gina, an experienced beauty professional with a cosmetology license of over 9 years. Bronzea was birthed by name and cross-pollinated from Bronze and Dea, meaning goddess in Italian. Gina really missed giving women that inner confidence and glow one spray at a time. So, are you ready to unlock your inner Bronzea and allow Gina to make you feel fabulous before meeting a family affair, maybe a night out with your significant others, or maybe it's ladies' night? So, please go to Bronzea Spray Tans at Instagram and use promo code ProblemSolvHer, no E on solve, for the month of September.
What's interesting, since we started the podcast 2 months ago, and the goal is to solve problems, right? I'm getting so much better, and when we prepare our podcast, focusing on what solutions are available out there. So it helps me immensely for my personal and my business life. Because
Amazing.
the more you do it, right? So more it just becomes part of your patterns.
Your everyday. Yeah.
Part of your routine. So without a question, execution is the key. Not just listening, not just consuming, but executing is the key in everything.
100%. I agree. And it's interesting that you would say that because after we have our one-on-one episodes like this and we discuss specific topics, I always feel better. Like I told you before, I'm just lagging. Some days you're more tired. As females, our hormones, plural, they change. And some days we're up, some days we're kind of a little meh. So as soon as you and I get started, I'm always uplifted and excited. And we have a lot of interesting things going on in the podcast this week. I won't give any spoilers, but I love the topic that we're going to dive into today. So you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Today is about being resourceful and looking at it from perspective from an eagle eye and from a frog perspective. Like from an eagle eye, being resourceful, what resources do you have in a positive way where you can rely on? From a frog perspective, who's using me as the resource?
I love that analogy. Well, like a lot of words and adjectives, it could be a positive or a negative. And being resourceful for me growing up was, I would like to say I used it in a positive way. And a lot of that was learned through, growing up in my family's business at a young age. And for me, being resourceful was always finding a way, finding a solution, figuring it out. And no matter what it is, it will come. It will come. And you have to be resourceful in doing that and thinking outside the box. It could be anything as simple as you're traveling and something comes up and you have to figure out a solution on the fly very quickly. Or you're working on a business deal and you have to think outside the box and you want that deal to close and something comes up. And, I know this from growing up in commercial real estate, you're in contract and until the term is you go hard and they can't get their deposit back, they still can get out of the deal. So you have to find ways and really massage and use your chutzpah, so to speak. And for me, that's positive in being resourceful. Over the years, and people have used me for my resources to do this, I have a couple tricks that I will not give up on here because everyone will start doing it and I won't get into any restaurant where I can get into any restaurant. I have ways of getting upgraded on flights and just, crafty, resourceful things I've done over the years. And people would always call me that I was close to. I need you to get me with this reservation. So I'm in my 40s.
Chloe in your coaching sessions, how she does it. Then she
Yes. Well, that's smart, Dagmar. I like that. So for my 40th birthday, my best friend from college and I went to Turks and Caicos, and we stayed at this fancy the Gansevoort, and we had I got upgraded. I won't tell you about that either or how. And there was this restaurant that we really wanted to go to that was kind of big on this reality show, The Housewives of New York, that everyone was going to, and they were showing it in episodes. And oh no, you can't get in there. There's like a 2-month waiting list. I go, give me the phone. And the concierge says, what? I said, dial a number. And I got us a reservation for that evening. So, being resourceful, it can be a positive thing. In a negative way, for me, being resourceful, meaning that from a fraud perspective, like you said, is like someone's always like out, like, how can this person do this for me? I don't want to do it myself. Let me use their resources. How can I be an opportunist? How can I take advantage of this situation? How can I make it for me? So that's what I would say the word resourceful means for me in a positive and a negative way. And I'd like to hear what you think.
So, coming from another cultural background, the word resourceful, we really don't know it in the way how you would use it in the American English perspective, where here I experience means you are smart. Before you use your own money, use other people's money. Before you use your own, what you have access to, you try to use the access from other people so you can save yours for later. So from my culture, it's more being resourceful is you have this goal, and what do you have available to reach this goal and what you don't have available to reach this goal. So
Okay.
if you're aware of what's available to you, that means from my culture being resourceful. I never heard it in a way where I hear it a lot here in the United States, where somebody's using friendships, somebody's using business connections to get what they want.
Okay.
To get what they want.
I think of business when I think of being resourceful.
Yeah, I experienced
Or
that.
figuring out a problem and getting the solution done.
I experienced that in friendships too. And the challenge with that is if you're a rescuer or a helper, you're always willing to open up your resource or being a resource. And then when we talk about another topic like setting boundaries, saying no, it's really, really hard when you do that for a while because you love your friends and you want the best for them, to get to the point where you have nothing else to give anymore.
Right. Well, when someone taps your resources, they tap you mentally and it drains you. And you're right. We want to help our friends. We want to help our family. I had a situation with your friend Dylan, my brother, today, where
My friend Dylan. Now he's my friend Dylan.
yeah, he's like, Dagmar's my new friend. I love Dagmar. I'm like, he goes, can I have her number? And I was like,
I
no.
love him too.
He asked me for your number today. I was like, relax. Don't, I'll give it to you when I'm ready. He's like, what do you mean? Why can't I have it? So I'm playing around with him. I'll give it to him later. He just wants to text you, be in touch, which is great because we're all, doing more podcasts.
And that's all what our podcast is really about, right?
Exactly.
Our podcast is not about we are here and we're sharing our stories. We want to invite whoever has an important story to share, how
and
they
found solution
to come join us, be our
Absolutely.
guest.
Absolutely. And it's nice to have a man's perspective from someone like Dylan. I'm not just saying this because he's my brother, but he's allowed to show the feminine and the masculine because most men are, I'm going to be so masculine, I can't show that side and be vulnerable. And he's willing to do that and really dive deep, which I love. So he was asking me earlier. I was with him earlier. He was saying to me that he was seeking a resource of mine that he's been asking me for. And I said, I have to do it in my way and how I want to do it and when I want to do it. And I have to be very specific because it's a very big contact. Mucho. He has a lot of large contacts and so do I. Big. This one's massive. And I was like, when I'm ready. So I have to do things my way when you're asking me to help you with something and use one of my resources. It has to be done where I'm comfortable asking the person, getting the information, and then relaying it to you and or putting you in touch with that person. So you have to respect my boundary in that I will give it to you in my resource.
Great advice.
Exactly. And he stepped off and he was like, okay, I understand that. I was like, so, you know, in Jamaica we say rewind, come again, like just chill out, you know? So I think it's really important also who you share resources with. So for instance, when I was running the nonprofit in New York, people will be calling me day and night because I have a lot of big contacts in DC in politics, some, you know, celebrities and people of notoriety and authors, just because this is the business I was in. And I remember someone calling me one time and the chutzpah in a negative way, asking me for a huge contact of mine. And I literally, and I had zero to give in terms of like, I had no problem saying this. I was like, not really sure who you think you're dealing with, but I don't give out contacts and personal information for anyone, A, and B, ultra high net worth individuals, celebrities. You know, if that was the case, I would be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just selling this type of information to people, giving out phone numbers and email addresses and physical addresses. And the
Rolodex,
person,
right? Isn't that in the old days we said Rolodex?
Rolodex. No, my dad still has his Rolodex. He goes in there sometimes and he pulls out that card today. Still, he did it last week. I saw him. So the person could not believe, like, what do you mean you're not going to give me this resource? It's like, I'm sorry. Did I give you, like, do I owe you my unborn child? What do I owe you? Why are you so entitled to have this information? And you're about the 10th person this week that's called me for this specific contact. And it happened to be one of our very large donors who everyone was trying to get to. I mean, everybody, not just in the Jewish circles and the nonprofit world, but just in general. And I gave it to him in a very professional way. He called me back a week later and said, you know, I thought about what you said and I just blew it off. And I called four other people trying to get it. And every single person hung up on me. They wouldn't even tell me why. At least you were honest and you gave me an explanation. I said, there you go. So we should not be afraid or shy away from telling people when we will not give them. And this is going into saying no and being okay with it, which we'll discuss on another episode. That when I'm not giving you a resource, it's for a reason. And I protect my resources and I guard them and I'm loyal to knowledge that I have and information and being in a position to know certain people and like kind of covet these email addresses and phone numbers, which I've never ever given out. People have offered me a lot of money, Dagmar, over the years for certain information. I say no, because my ethics and my morals are more important.
We would like to take this moment and break in the episode to thank our sponsors. Robin Lord Law is New Jersey's premier criminal defense attorney for over 2 decades. Robin believes in justice for all and an aggressive legal approach in the courtroom, defending her clients with facts and passion. With an extremely high success rate, Robin has caught a lot of attention in the media with her bold approach in the courtroom and fabulous style. For more information, please contact Robin directly at robinlordlaw.com.
Yeah.
I just had another thought. I don't know if it ever happened to you because you and I, totally different personalities, the same values, the same ethics, totally different personalities. What happens to me as having this helper and rescuer deep in me, when I see something what my friend could use, or my client, or my boss, or my colleague, in the old days, I just gave it to them. And because I grew up with a dad who taught me how does this work, so I always look at anything, if it's technical or if it's something emotionally or physically, always think through how does it work and how can I make it better, how can I make it more productive, effective, and efficient, right? So in the old days, when I saw something what could be better or how I could provide a solution without that they were asking me, I gave it to them. So then after a while, you're so busy giving others your solutions and creating a great life. And then one day you realize you don't have time for your own. And for
Exactly.
sure, it comes from a lack of not self-esteem, more self-value, that you experienced having a value through others. Because like if you grew up as the nice little girl doing everything for the neighbors, for the family,
Being a people
obeying
pleaser.
people pleaser, obeying everybody, you will put others first. And that's pretty dangerous with being resourceful, because if you have that in you, not just being resourceful for yourself, but also see what others would need, and not only boundaries to others or saying no to others, but also to your own reactions. So now I trained myself. I have this thought come. I still have the thoughts coming in, right? Because it's in my core. I have the thought coming in, and then, nope, stop a second. Do you have the time? Do you have the finances? Do you have the energy? Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to be involved? Right?
Mm.
And then I make my decision if I want to share my resources freely. And the other thing, what I experienced here, and was pretty hard for me emotionally, but it taught me a great lesson. I had a friend one time, and she always got into these difficult situations. Like she had a husband, mentally he was not stable. She always got into these difficult situations where she needed me right away, right away. So I had to stop everything and go and help her. And I did that for many years.
You didn't have to, you chose to.
Yes. For my core, there was no question if I would want to or not. And then after a while, I became more conscious about it, that this is my first reaction. And by having your own business, you have to make good business decisions, not just good friendship decisions, and questioning if good friendship is that you always can hop if somebody says hop, right? But it came to the point, and there was a situation, it just escalated really like badly. It came to the point where I had to decide, do I want to have this friend in my life?
You have to put your own wellness first.
This, and I decided my inner core was stability and balance. And this friend always brought me out of it, because she did beautiful things for me. She involved me in everything, and we traveled together, and she helped me a lot. So I always felt obligated to do it. And at one point, I had to decide, I cannot have this anymore. I cannot have the emergency calls. I need that you help me. I need money. I need that you do this. It became such a struggle for me internally that I started saying no and setting boundaries. And then little by little, just the friendship got less and less, and then was gone.
I can see how emotional it is for you even to talk about it. I'm watching you.
Yeah, because I loved her, right? So,
We can still love somebody and always love them, but they're not a part of our life anymore. We can do that.
so no, my challenge is I get attached emotionally quickly, and then I give everything, and I'm working on it. Because for me, how I am, I cannot do both. I cannot give everything emotionally and have stability for my business. So I'm defining now, what do I want in my life? What do I want to accomplish in my life? And how do I get there? What's okay to do and what should I not do because it has negative consequences for my life or for my business? So I learned to make conscious decision and stop me. The biggest key for me is stopping me in reacting and thinking about, what do I want, evaluating that from an eagle eye perspective, and then reacting from a frog perspective.
That makes sense. And I think it's important, and again, not taking anything away from younger people, but when you get to a certain age, you reevaluate all of your friendships. I have friends that I've been friends with since 14 years old, 15, 16. And I say, okay, well, I'm in a different place where we've all evolved. And if you're trying to drain me of all my resources and use me and take all my time. And I feel obligated. That's not a friendship. It's a one-way situation. And we have a right as free thinking individuals to make our own decisions. And if I feel like you're not a part of my life anymore, and I can't have you in that, as hard as that may be, because I have someone who I was very, very close with, one of my bestest, closest friends, who's kind of like still in my friend group, and from all of us growing up, and she and I don't really speak, and it was something that had happened, and I was very upset about, and she knows it was wrong, and she claimed was gonna, fix it, so to speak, and we were gonna get through it, and she didn't. And I just realized that this person is going through their own things and dealing with their own things in life, and they're a little bit self-absorbed, and I have to let the friendship go. And I tried so hard, like I didn't want to let go, and was emotionally connected. But she also drained me of a lot of my resources, and I did a lot for her, and hooked her up with a lot of situations, and we all go through that. But I think for me, I like to think of being resourceful in a positive way. And what I mean by that is I use it in a positive way. And I always figure things out. And, in life, we have to be resourceful if it's going to benefit us in a positive way. Because as my dad always says, only the strong survive. So it's like the movie Hunger Games, they go out there and it's like, who's left at the end? Yeah, that's right. Oliver's licking my hand. We're almost done, baby. He's like, get me on the road. He wants to go out there in the world. What an easy life. I just have to show you him. Ollie, look, Ollie, look at him. He's just like, he doesn't want to.
He wants to go outside.
I know. Well, I think we kind of hit where we wanted to be on this topic anyway. And I know you like to keep these too.
Yeah, I want to add one thing. So yes. For somebody nowadays age, or in these times, for somebody who are not used to be resourceful, one thing is get together with Chloe, because Chloe is perfect, beautiful in training you to become resourceful. Because where we are going, you need to be resourceful in many ways. You need to be resourceful in your thoughts, in your mind, emotionally resourceful, also physically, right?
I love that. Emotionally resourceful. That's a new one. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, if you burn out emotionally, if you burn out overthinking everything in your mind, if you burn out physically, right? That you whenever somebody needs you, you run, you help your neighbor with the kids to school and everything, you're on the road, or you come home and you have no energy and you're tired, and then you should do your own thing. So it's really important for the ones who are listening to us who know they can be better, more resourceful, or the ones who are struggling like me with caregiver and helper and rescuer and having a hard time not to be used as a resource. So
excellent.
Yeah, go to our website and connect with Chloe there, or text us on Instagram. We also have the links in all of our videos. It's coaching for women.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
ProblemSolvHer.com, guys. No E on solve. And if you are looking for, I'm going to give a couple examples. Let's say you're starting a new business or you're pivoting and you need certain training and SEO and website and, structure and organization on how to get that business started. Dagmar is your girl. She's an ace. She's numero uno. She figured out all on her own. I can't take one iota of a credit. Iota, that's an old school word.
Iota.
She figured out the podcast. She's the one posting everything. She's doing the editing. She's producing. Yes, I find the guests. Yes, we discuss the topics. I try to look cute and I come out here, and I do my thing.
Cute and sexy.
We're a great duo, and Dagmar is the person for that because she will figure everything out. She will do it on her own, and she will not stop until she learns what she wants to learn, which is amazing. And a lot of women need help in that area.
So one
message.
Love you. Yeah, one message about being resourceful. If I have one message, it's trust your gut.
I love that. My message for being resourceful is don't ever give up and always find a way. Dig deep in, girl. It's in there. There's always an answer. and it'll always get figured out. We love you. We see you. Come
We hear
find
you.
us on Instagram
Subscribe.
at Problems on
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, our website. We're everywhere. You are.
Yes. Thank
Love
you.
you, Daggy.
Love you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.